Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Life. Now, my next guest is Mr. Young Earn, and he is a very popular content creator. And we are going to be talking about the fact that he actually took the road less traveled and he transformed his passion for content creation into actually a full-time career. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Make sure that you actually stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Young Earn.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So now I'm just going to jump straight into it.
Okay.
From moving into or from a 9 to 5 IT background, how did you find your passion for content creation?
So the thing is, I actually used to create content way before the IT job. So coming out of school, I created videos for like 4 years without much attention and so on. So my mom was like, nah, you need to get a job.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's not working out. So I eventually got a job and yeah, I just wasn't happy there. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of you saying you were creating content for about 4 years, was it on TikTok or other platforms?
So that's actually before TikTok even started.
Oh.
So I started on YouTube. Yeah, so I started making content there, and then it was during lockdown that I actually downloaded TikTok. Because at first I was like, ah, TikTok. Yeah.
I feel like it's those ones that started during lockdown that made it. People that come up now, it's like, it's a bit tricky. All right, so tell us about the niche. How did you know the kind of content that you have to do? Did you always have a plan, or did you just discover your niche along the way?
I feel like I'm a very diverse person, and the content that I would create, people would be like, what? There's no way a white guy is in a taxi. So I literally took a video of myself catching a taxi. And then from there, it just carried on. People were like, okay, I've never seen a white guy in the townships. So I took a video of me going to the townships. Then I like, eat some food at the township. And then I started eating food in the township. And it just kept going like that.
That is very, very, very interesting. Now, you emphasize the importance of authenticity. How do you ensure that in all your videos, in all your journey in content creation, you always make sure that you are authentic and you don't get influenced by what other people are doing, and you just stay true to your authenticity?
Yeah, so the crazy thing in the content creation space, sometimes it's good to be influenced, but you mustn't lose track of who you are, because then you come across as fake. It just doesn't come across well. So even through influence, you need to learn how to be yourself, you know. Like that's why I don't change the way I speak. And although there's haters out there and so on, I stick to who I am, and I feel like that's what people enjoy the most about my content. Yeah.
Okay, now you mentioned that obviously you transitioned from a 9 to 5, moving into the content creation world. At what point were you like, okay, this is something that can give me a solid income? I'm leaving my job. Because that must take a lot of trust to say, I'm leaving my job, the security, stability, and getting into this whole content creation. What gave you the confidence to finally let go and actually take on to content creation?
To be honest, I didn't really have confidence. It was like a big risk I was taking. I just knew that that space wasn't for me, and I felt like I'm going to try my hardest to reach my dream and make my dream come true. So basically, I don't want to encourage people to quit their jobs, right? But I had like a small backup online work that I could do that was paying me like 4,000 a month, which is very little.
Yes.
But in that time, I blew up on TikTok, and then I started using that 4,000 Rand a month to fund my videos. And eventually, it didn't make me money, like in the start, but then afterwards, brands started reaching out, and they would pay me. And then I'm a hustler, so I found other ways to make money through content, and yeah, that's what happened. And now I'm well off.
That's really good. At least we have a success story, not someone that risked it,
Hey.
and then next thing it's like, ooh, that was not worth it. Okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about brand and sponsorships. Tell us about how is it to approach? Do you always approach brands? Do brands come to you? And also, how do you measure your value for people that are watching right now that are interested into getting into the space of content creation and monetizing the platform? Because I think creating content is one thing, but also knowing how to monetize the platform is another thing. So how do you advise those people?
No, but that's so true. I know creators who are perhaps like even bigger than me who haven't monetized their platform properly. One thing I would say is you have to be a person that brands would want to work with. So you have to have maybe a personality that aligns with brands, and then also you need to be someone that's not, too much on the edge, because you get content creators who their whole content is like a bit rude or, you know, a bit on the line, you know what I mean? So you need to be brand friendly. And then personally, I've never reached out to brands. I've always had brands reach out to me. Hey.
Hey.
So I feel like if your influence is big enough, you know, you'll find people that love your content within the brand, within the brand itself, or within the marketing company. And then since your influence is so big and your reach is so wide, that they look at your profile, they see your email, they reach out to you, and they're like, "We have a campaign, let's work together." So in the start, um, I didn't get a lot of money, like from campaigns and so on, because I didn't know my worth as well. It was something I had to learn as I went along. So eventually, I learned that, okay, this is what I should be charging, and yeah. So then I let them know, and then they're happy with it, and then we go with it.
Let's talk about your name, Young Earn. Why that name?
So the word young earn is actually elongated from the word yearn, which means to desire strongly.
Yes.
Yeah. So then yearn sounded a bit too underground, and yeah, like since a kid I had this desire like to be someone, to make a name for myself, and that's why I took the word yearn and then I made it young earn to sound a bit more hip. Yeah.
So for now, I think content creation is becoming very popular. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where people exhaust that, or do you think it's now actually at a point where it's getting bigger and people should step into it and take the leap of faith?
So I actually have been thinking about it. A lot of people are trying the content creation thing. They flooding the market. It is like the new thing. It's like what rap was
Yes.
to in the industry or in the culture. So I feel like people can give it a try. I mean, especially if you enjoy it. Like personally, even if I wasn't making money, I'd probably still be making videos, you know, on the side, something like that. It's not an easy game. So I feel like those who are gonna try and maybe they see it's not easy and they're gonna give up. You know what I mean? So if it's something you're really passionate about, you will stick to it and then it will really pay off as well. Yeah.
Let's talk about I mean, you probably had different brand deals and sponsorships. Out of all of them, which one stands out for you and which one did you enjoy the most?
And my favorite was Take a Lot. They're just so fun to work with and they pay really well. So
Yes.
that was my favorite. They've been basically they've kept me on a retainer for so long as well. So they're the favorite brand that I've ever worked with. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, if not months, I remember talking to someone that was advocating for the fact that in South Africa or Africa, TikTok isn't paying.
Yeah.
And they wish that people, I mean, it could start paying Africans because then it would open up so many opportunities in terms of job creation and people would actually make so much more because you probably are making money, but if TikTok opened that door, I mean, the income is now limitless. You would be making probably triple, if not double, what you are making. What do you have to say regarding that? Do you wish that it paid, and if yes, what are your reasons?
I definitely wish it did pay because as content creators, you know, we work hard on our craft, and sometimes some content creators they fully rely on brand deals, which is not an easy life to live. You know, so I wish more content creators knew about content monetization platforms like YouTube and Facebook because they actually pay creators per view, right? And I have no idea why TikTok isn't doing it. I feel like they're robbing African content
Yes.
creators because they do show adverts on the platform and creators should be earning from those adverts being shown. Yeah.
And just before I let you go, for people that are watching right now that want to get into the space, young content creators, or just even businesses that want to just step into the field of content creation, as someone that has made it and who's successful in the field, what advice would you have for them so that they can also succeed?
I say just push as hard as you can. Drop a video as often as you can, but make sure it's quality. One thing I did is I studied bigger creators and I studied viral videos to see what makes this video go viral. Is it the first hook, the first 3 seconds of the video, and how did they do it? And then I tried to imitate it, but as you said, like still stay authentic to who I am. So study, and push and create and post. Don't be shy.
I know I said it's the last question. In terms of posting on TikTok, is there an amount of times that you have to post a day? Because maybe you TikTok creators know. Is there a time that is specifically good for posting? Are there any tips that you can share with content creation before
So
we
I
let
feel
you
like
go?
someone says it perfectly. When you think of the algorithm, think of humans, right? So when are humans mostly on their phone? Post at that time. You know, maybe when everybody comes home from work, everybody had dinner already and stuff like that. Post at those times. There's no specific like amounts of videos you need to post per day. I used to post every single day, but now on TikTok I maybe post twice a week. So you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. You don't have to post 100 videos. I'm sure people will get tired of seeing you if you're doing that.
Yeah, because everybody's like, you have to post 3 times a day if you want to make it on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot of lies out there.
Right?
Yeah, just make good videos. Quality over quantity.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also being authentic to yourself.
100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Young Earn.
Thank
This
you.
has been a very interesting conversation, and I hope people that are watching right now have taken up some lessons on how to actually make it in the content creation industry, and also being authentic to yourself and all of those things. But without wasting any time, the next interview is going to keep you very interested. So let's take a quick ad break, and we will see you right after this.